Hello, my Lincoln Scholars. Look where I am. Right in the front of the building where we all walk through these doors every single morning. It is so nice outside. So nice outside. So I had to come outside and sit down just for a few minutes just to walk away and get some mindfulness time for myself. I just wanted to let you all know I won't be doing a story tonight, but I'm going to have a special video for you tonight. But right now I have some information for you and your families. I have a very good friend, Ms Khavah, who did a video for us just about how to unwind from this stress of being home all the time, and also letting your parents know what some of the stressors are. So make sure your parents see this video. Make sure they see how our school looks again, just in case they forgot where our school is and what it looks like. I know it's been a long time. Okay, that was just a joke, but you know, you get it. So I will see you all later this afternoon. I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care.
Hey everyone, my name is Khavah Murray. If you know me professionally, you know me as Ms. K. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I've been working for the last 12 or 13 years as a child, adolescent, and family therapist, behavior specialist, and I'm currently the Director of Behavioral Health for Primary Care Health Services, if you're in the Homewood area, also known as Alma Illery. My friend Ms. Parks asked me to do a brief video just talking about the emotional significance that a pandemic is going to have on, some of her students and just kids in general, which I think is amazing. I think going through a pandemic is going to trigger a lot of emotional responses for people, including grief and loss, maybe some trauma, and even some sadness. So being able to support our kiddos the best way possible is just amazing. When we look at mood and mood shifts in kids, a lot of time we just think about, sadness and being withdrawn. And a lot of times we don't consider, that it might look like irritability. It might look like, sleep disturbances and nightmares and, your 10-year-old wanting to come back and co-sleep. We don't think about sometimes the appetite shifts where, your kid's eating more or eating less, or all of a sudden might be a picky eater. A lot of emotional wellness is thinking about what we have control over. So as a kid, if all you feel like you have control over is what you're going to eat, that's where you're going to exercise your control. So letting them know that, there are other things that they have control over, and healthy ways to get these feelings out is very important right now. When I think about like grief and loss, again, people typically think about, sadness over like a death or, somebody moving away. People are grieving, not being able to go to work as adults. So kids are grieving not being able to go to school and be social. When you think about school for a child, that's like their life. That's their everything. That's where they get their learning. That's where they get their friends. That's where they get their social experiences. That's where they know, good ways to communicate, bad ways to communicate. They get their problem solving. So right now they're grieving that loss of just that social connection. And as humans, we're social beings. So being forced to not be around the people that you want to be around can be traumatic, and it can be perceived as a loss as well. So I think just understanding the different types of feelings and that come with this pandemic and the isolation of a quarantine is important. I think as adults, it's also important to create a space where kids can, express their thoughts and express their feelings and have them validated. But not only have them validated, but give them some hope that this isn't going to last forever. There are other things we can do instead of what we have been doing, and, and follow through on what you say you're going to do. When I talk about feelings with my kiddos at work, I always try to use an I statement and model that for them so they can, in turn, model it back to me. So I'm clear about how they feel, and they have the confidence to let me know how they feel. And then I validate it by saying, hey, thank you for letting me know how you feel, or you seem upset. Thanks for letting me know that. That seemed pretty hard to tell me. So building that confidence and creating that validating space, again, contributes to the communication of the original feeling. I think it's also important, as adults, to be mindful that we need to be supported so we can support our kids. So remember to reach out to, your support networks and use those FaceTimes to keep yourself and your spirits up so that you can model that for your kids and provide them with the support that they need. When I'm thinking about, ways to cope, it's just, the main thing is trying to create a new normal and keeping some normalcy. I'm going back to normal and normalcy, but just keeping a routine. trying to have some expectations for the next day. Have something to look forward to. Okay, they can't get up and go to school, but they know 8:30 we're going to all be in the kitchen or in the dining room. Breakfast is at 8:30. We're cutting on this laptop at 9:30. We'll take a break at 10:30. We'll go back till 11:30. We'll take another break and then lunch and then this. But just so they know what to expect, because again, that gray area and that uncertainty leads to the anxiety, the stress, the other things that we are talking about. We really don't want them to have to feel. So if you can control your daily routine, control it. Try to keep the eating and sleeping patterns normal as well. Like I said before, when we're thinking about when something's wrong or, not right with somebody or they're off, sleep and appetite are, two usually telltale signs. So trying to keep, meal times regular, but also just try to really incorporate some healthy food options. Right now, we really can't eat out too much. So we have control over what we're taking into our body. So try to make sure that, you're eating healthy foods, drinking plenty of water. Try to keep and maintain like a regular sleep schedule. When this first started, my niece thought she could be up every day till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. At first, I'm like, okay. But then I'm thinking like, you can't sleep all day. It's not healthy. You're all off. It's just, she's getting up at 3 and just there's the whole day off. So just keeping everything as normal as possible, not only contributes to just the regularity of a day, but it also, benefits your health emotionally and physically. In terms of talking about what we also have control over is, our physical health and safety for the most part. We all can wash our hands for 20 seconds, get in between those crevices, hit the fingertips and rinse thoroughly. We can also cover our cough and sneeze when we want to, whatever. I have allergies, so right now, I'm isolating as much as possible because I don't want other people to feel uncomfortable about my allergies. But, in addition to wearing my face mask when I go out, I also remember to cough and sneeze into my elbow when I need to. I also try to keep, laptops, cell phones, keys, doorknobs, light switches, things like that. Instead of your weekly cleaning or every other day cleaning, you might want to hit these things, multiple times a day. Hand sanitizer, carry hand sanitizer with you. If you don't need to go outside and risk exposure, do not go outside. If you have the opportunity to work virtually and, connect with people virtually, do that. I want to encourage people to get plenty of exercise, but do it safely. Continue to practice physical distancing. Fresh air and sunlight is good for anybody, anytime. So I'm always going to encourage that. But like I said, please be mindful. Playgrounds are closed. Parks are closed. With a playground part of the parks are closed, but go for a walk. If you can meet up with your kid's classmate and go for a walk and still practice social distancing, you're still getting that social connection, but you're also still being safe. The last thing I wanted to talk about and that we can control is just our perception of the things. You can't change if you can't change what's going on around you, change how you look at it. And we call that like a cognitive behavioral approach. Won't bore you guys with it. But if we look at this like a catastrophe and this is just horrible and it's the end of the world, because I hear people saying, this is the end of time, this is the horrible, this is the worst thing. No, this is just something else to add to, your list of life experiences. I know I'm telling folks I've lived through Y2K, 9/11, SARS, Ebola, a black president. I've seen a lot. I'm adding this to my list of lifetime accomplishments. So change how you're looking at this. If you're stressed, your kids are going to be stressed. If you're looking optimistic, your kids want to be looking optimistic. Like I said before, they often look to us for their messages about the world around them. And I think if we stay positive and stay healthy, they'll continue to stay positive and stay healthy too. Thank you for listening.